Hey everybody, Jim Powers with MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision as we continue to roll through our coaches interviews this week as crossover has started. Some of our spring sports are going to get into action this week, but our basketball teams are still in the grind of the season and a great week for our women's basketball team. And we're joined by their head coach, Collin Lanam. And, Collin, a really nice set of games this past weekend, especially on Saturday against our city rival, Lamsel. And we were texting, over the weekend, and boy, I tell you what, you hit it on the head. The girls came out ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a good week. When you're playing two teams that are in the area, you start to get a little bit more excited about it. And for us, between the geographical rivalry that we have with where everybody's sitting in the current points rating system, there was a lot on the line, and we knew two big games like this on the road, two teams that are ahead of us in the standings. It was a big opportunity for us, and we had to take advantage. So I think this week the team really brought a lot of energy, had a great week, had a big commitment in our recruiting world this week, and so to kind of carry that over from early in the week into Thursday's night's game, which kind of carried itself over into Saturday. We've taken a lot of pride in kind of how we're finishing the regular season. We're, like we've talked about before, we're going through some things that most teams have already gone through. And I think we're finally starting to find that gel, and the girls are having fun again. And that was what was tough, I think, about this season is just it's a mental game as much as it is physical right now. And so to find that fun in the competition, I'm just really proud of how everybody's bounced back and played this past couple games. And the big thing is just kind of continuing that through into McKendree. Something we kind of talk about in the locker room is taking pride in playing the local St. Louis Metro teams, and so far we're 4 for 4 with Lindenwood and Umsel, and McKendree's kind of the last hurdle for that. So it's kind of a mini goal that we have throughout the season is to take control of what we can control and try to be the best team in the area.
Now, I mean, obviously Mother Nature throws us a major curveball. Wasn't able to practice, Monday or Tuesday. So what is, your philosophy in that situation where now you get them in the gym today, but you've got to turn around and play two very good opponents in McKendree and then Southern Indiana on Saturday?
It's life. You can't sit and whine and complain about opportunities lost. You just have to take advantage of the ones that you're given. So we were fortunate enough to get in for a little bit last night just to get our hands on the ball, get up and down a little bit. Nothing competitive due to the situations, and we didn't want to jeopardize any of our support staff for having to come into campus. But our kids that were around here and able to get to campus, got some shots up, got a little sweat in. Just to get their heads back into it. So today is a very valuable practice for us in preparation for McKendree. We know that they're a very scrappy team that really gets after it year in, year out. They don't quit. They fight hard. They play like their coaches. And so we know we're in for a dogfight tomorrow. So the big thing is, and we talked about yesterday with the team, is just coming mentally prepared, control what you can control, take advantage of some of the downtime, and maybe spend a little bit more time in the scouting report and the X's and O's, thinking through our pieces of the game, what we can do offensively, defensively. Just try to put yourself in as many moments as you can, getting those mental reps when you can't get the physical reps. So, it is what it is. We've dealt with so much adversity throughout the year. So this is just kind of another hurdle to get over. So, we're not making any sort of excuses for it. We're not even really talking about it, to be honest with you, because it can't be a factor when we come out of the game Thursday. We're not going to come back and say, well, if we had practiced Monday, if we had practiced Tuesday, doesn't matter. Does not matter.
The one thing about this team this year, and I love watching it, being a former coach, and I love defense. I mean, you look at what our kids are doing defensively, and it's just unbelievable. And, the steals that they're creating, and then they're taking that into the offensive side and turning that into points. I mean, I know that's your philosophy. I know in knowing you for many years, that's one thing you've really, really harped on. And this year, more than ever, the defensive effort has just been unbelievable.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. That's one of those sides of the game that does not show up in the stats. So obviously this year, without having people in the stands, it's kind of it's something that doesn't get celebrated very much. So I know our girls get excited about that. They've realized that good, intense defense turns into good offense for us. So, looking at how we've played the past couple games, I think we've done a good job. The team's doing a fantastic job of listening to what our game plan is, and they're starting to think a little bit more about the big picture as opposed to just one-on-one defense. And I think that's the key to it is the better we defend as a unit, the better we play the better the more success that we have. So, when we're going against teams that have powerhouse post presence, I mean, UMSL has arguably two of the best post players that play together in the league, and to be able to hold them under their numbers. Now, I know Alex Laporta got player of the week, but I think we did a pretty good job. She had a really good first half, but I think we held her to 2 points in the second half of a very close game. So, when you're holding the other teams, all conference players below their numbers, you're doing something right as a team. And it was by committee. It was not any one person that just stepped up. We had at one point a 5'7", 5'8" guard on her. And it is what it is. And like we've talked about, we're not going to be that team that's flashing, that does everything perfect and individuals are going to shine. It's going to take group efforts. And so I think they've really bought into, a lot of people have that kind of, it's not my fault, she got beat or that person got beat. We're starting to play for each other. And that's what we talk a lot about is play with each other, play for each other, help each other out in the defensive end and plug gaps, make it a little bit easier on your teammates going forward.
You mentioned a little bit ago, McKendree, what they're going to bring to the table. And we know what Southern Indiana is going to bring to the table. I mean, Rick Stein does just a terrific job down there. But McKendree on Thursday night, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a knockdown, drag out heavyweight battle between two teams that are, kind of mirror images of each other, offensively and then also defensively.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hadn't had a chance to see them play a whole lot up until this week, and just looking from a statistical standpoint, our numbers are very similar. So it's going to be interesting. Our gameplay is very different, and it's going to be a fun night because they're coming off of a couple big wins. They just played last night against Illinois Springfield and got a win. Us coming off a good weekend, so we're both riding high, and I think it's going to come down to who's ready to come out and throw the first punch. And what we've talked a lot about is not only throwing that first punch, but having the poise to take a couple along the way. And that's what good fighters do is they're able to take a couple hits and keep going at the end of the game or end of the match, whatever it may be. So, we know it's going to be a dogfight. We're in it for 40 minutes. And you have to be against them. You have to be against them. If you slip up and take a quarter off, they're going to make you pay for it. So it's going to be a dogfight, and we're excited for it.
No doubt about it. Well, we're looking forward to it. Last two home games this week, and it's great to have you guys back after a couple weeks in Simon. It's going to be a fun night tomorrow night.
Yeah, we've got an exciting couple weeks here, one game at a time, and we're excited to be back home for this week.
No doubt about it. Thanks so much, buddy. We appreciate it. We'll see you at Simon on Thursday night.
Thank you.
Collin Lanam, our head women's basketball coach, joins us. Once again, McKendree comes over to the Simon Center Thursday night, 5:15 start for the ladies. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage for you on our social media at Maryville Saints and also on the GLVC Sports Network and Saints Vision. And then Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock start. Now, Saturday will be a standalone game as Southern Indiana's men's team is in protocol right now. So no men's game on Saturday. The women will tip it off at 1 o'clock. And once again, at Maryville Saints on Twitter, GLVC Sports Network, and Saints Vision on our end, we'll have you covered wall to wall on how our women are doing this weekend as they play their final two home games of the 2020-2021 season. For Coach, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks so much for tuning in to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week, and as always, go Saints.